Okay, let's try this again, shall we? My name is Andy, also known as Coloco, Calaco, however you want to say it. That's exactly right. You got it right, however you want to say it. So I made this video about 30 minutes ago, and yeah, I didn't have my mic fully plugged in, so it was just me going. And yeah, no sound coming out. So sorry about that. But now I'm making this video again, and I thought the last one came out pretty good, and I got all my thoughts out the way I wanted to. But now it seems like I don't even know where to begin. So the video is titled "You Were Wrong About the Switch," and yes, you were wrong. I'm talking to you. You, yeah, and you know who you are. I know who you are. You're the guy, the girl. You're looking at this right now. I'm talking to you. You were wrong about the Nintendo Switch. I was wrong about the Nintendo Switch too. Everybody was wrong about the Nintendo Switch. I think the only people that were right about the Nintendo Switch were Nintendo. Like, nobody expected the level of success that Nintendo is going through right now. I don't think anybody expected that. And to say that you did would be lying. Yeah, you're lying, because no one did. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. You can actually look at the first video I did. It was last year with the whole Nintendo NX debacle. Remember that? Remember the NX? Oh, it sounds so cool and edgy. Yeah, NX. You know, it's Switch. Yeah, it's okay. But anyways, I thought the name was a lot better. That whole thing. The first video I made on this YouTube, you could go back and listen to it if you can. I had more audio issues, worse than this, because actually, this was worse because you couldn't hear me. At least you could hear me if you turned up the speakers really loud. You can hear what I was saying. But I talk about, you know, the 5 reasons why you should look up to or forward to the NX. And I mean, even one of them is better third-party support. And also that even if it's not as powerful as the Xbox One or PS4, which it's not. So on the one hand, I was right about one thing. On the other hand, I did not expect this level of success with the third-party support that the Switch has received so far. I actually, to me personally, as a Nintendo fan, as a video game fan, but Nintendo fan, I was going to be happy either way. If we were to get a system that was more powerful than the Wii U, right? Or, you know, at that point we weren't sure. So even a system that was as powerful as the Wii U, but you can take portably, you know, I thought was a great thing. And then, you know, with the games that they were showing, or the game that they were showing, like Zelda, to me it showed that Nintendo was putting in an effort that they weren't doing before. I never thought that it was that big of an effort. Like, I never thought Zelda was going to be that good. I never thought that they were going to hit us with all these amazing games, you know, year one. I never thought that it was going to be this big. But even then, I thought, hey, you know, as a Nintendo fan, I'm going to buy it. You know, even if it's one, you know, the same sales that the Wii U had, I was going to buy it. You know. And I was going to probably play the Nintendo games on it and be happy. But I never expected it to be as successful as it is now. Nobody did. And the level, and people say, well, it's not, it's just the first 7 months. It's just a console's life cycle. Oh, the first few months, people go crazy for, especially Nintendo fans. They go crazy for that stuff, man. They'll buy all the systems. You know what? To a certain extent, yes, that's true. Even the Wii U had a good first 2 months. But then you could find Wii U's everywhere. I had no problem getting a Wii U. Of course, I got it a little bit later in the life cycle. I got it maybe 6 or 7 months after it came out. I had no trouble for it. There was tons of it sitting there at the store. So I had no trouble getting it. Wii U had no trouble being in stores 6 or 7 months. Heck, it had no trouble being in stores 3 or 4 months after it came out. So it's not the same thing. Yes, that we had the level of success that the Switch is kind of showing where it was sold out for a while, right? But the Wii didn't have one thing that the Switch seems to be having, and that's actual software purchases. It doesn't have that. And to prove that, there is, and you could Google it. I didn't pull it up, but I'm sure you could Google it. If you have trouble Googling it, finding it, let me know. I could link it to you, or I can edit the video later and link it below. But there is this analyst for the MPD that I follow on Twitter. In fact, look, let me look at my Twitter, see if I can. I have a lot of people on Twitter. I'll link it below, okay? So there's this analyst for the MPD that he said that this year, 2017 so far for the Nintendo Switch, it is the most software sales for a Nintendo system since 1995. Since 1995, okay? That's the first year that they started to look at that data. So there's nothing available before that. And so I started thinking to myself, okay, I'm like, 1995. What happened in 1995? That was late in the Super NES's life cycle. That was before Pokemon came out. That was like a Game Boy, Game Boy Advance? Yeah, Game Boy Advance. That was late in the Game Boy Advance. It's funny to say that. Late in the Game Boy Advance's life, even though Game Boy Advance came out in 2001, whatever, but it lasted 4 years. So I was late in the Game Boy Advance's life. That was late in the Super NES's life. No N64 yet. He said that it was the most software sold since 95, which means 95 surpassed anything that the Wii sold. Any years that the Wii sold software, 95 was greater. Otherwise, he wouldn't say it's the largest software sold since 95. You get what I'm saying? He would have said it's the largest software sold. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. It's late. It's the largest number of software sales since 2008. He would have said that. He didn't. He said 95. So obviously, 95 surpassed software sales for the entire Wii's library, the entire Wii U's library, okay, and the DS. And the DS was a major success. That was the most successful console, Nintendo console ever, I believe. Yes. Number 2, I think. Number 1 is PlayStation 2. So, that being said, if that was the number 1 in the last 22 years, the number 1 selling year of software sales, and this year surpassed that, last 22 years, okay, I would say that this is the largest year that Nintendo has probably ever had. And this is not taking into consideration what he actually meant. Did he mean month to month? So are we comparing 1995, the first 7 months, to 2017, the first 7 months? Or are we comparing 1995, the whole year, 2017, the first 7 months? He might have not specified it. I don't think he did. Either way, if it's the later, if it's comparing the first 7 months to the whole year, that's even more amazing how successful this console has been. So it's not just people rushing to buy the brand new console. It's people buying the games as well. And this is a big factor because people don't just move on when they purchase titles for consoles. They call it a backlog for a reason, because people have that in the back of their mind, like, oh, I got to play this game. Oh, I bought this game. I got to go play it. So you have all these people that bought brand new system. They bought a bunch of games for it, okay? And now you're going to have those people going back and playing those games. In the meantime, there's more games coming out, more games coming out, more games coming out. So to say that this is just a fluke is, I think there's evidence right there to show you that it is not a fluke. Nobody expected this level of success with the Nintendo Switch. Not even their most hardcore Nintendo fan base suspected this. You could be lying to yourself and saying you did, but I'd say you were wrong. The biggest thing surprising to me, the biggest surprise to me of this success is the fact that they've done it without the help of major third-party games, right? There is no Assassin's Creed. There is no Call of Duties. There is no Grand Theft Autos. The biggest selling games on other systems that outclass their first-party software all the way and outclass anybody's first-party stuff, that's nil. There's none on the Switch. Yet, it has the most success of any Nintendo console, arguably ever, for the first 7 months. So that to me is surprising. That is surprising because all this time I was thinking, okay, yeah, I mean, I'll play the games. Like I said, I'm happy to play the Nintendo games. I'm happy to have a new console. Is it going to be that successful? You know, if the third-party support shows up, maybe. I don't think that anymore. I don't. You see everything behind me? You see all this wonderful, all this beautifulness right here? We don't need those big, huge third-party games. We don't. We do not. This is proof. The sales are proof. Everything has been proven. You don't need those big third-party games to sell the system, to sell software. You don't need it. So I'm not worried about that stuff anymore. I was worried earlier. Back before the Switch came out, I was worried about the Mass Effects. I was worried about, the Destiny 2s. Well, guess what? Mass Effect Andromeda is for sale for $9 on Amazon right now. Go ahead, buy it. Go ahead. Is that the game I was so hyped for, so excited. Third-party games are not the same. Oh, and another one. Destiny 2 is the same as before. People are just saying it's the same game, basically. Same story, same, I'm sure it's a good game. I will get it probably on PC. But it's the same thing. So, all these third-party games, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Red Dead Redemption 2 is not going to come out and not going to kill it. Of course it's going to kill it. But that's getting farther and fewer in between. What is the last huge third-party game to come out? What is it like? Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Yeah, what happened to that one? Oh, it tanked. Nobody bought that game. Nobody. It tanked. I haven't seen the US sales yet, but who cares? In the UK, it tanked. In Japan, it tanked. I'm not talking about it did okay. No, it just horrible disaster sales for a game of that caliber. But yet, what is the number one game that everybody's talking about now? Is it a huge third-party game? No. It is Cuphead. It is a indie game. Indie games are I wouldn't say taking over, but they've changed everything that has to do with the video game, sales. And that's great. I think it's fantastic. We're getting experiences. People are putting 200 hours in Stardew Valley, and playing these games over and over again. Golf Story's amazing. Great game. Stick around. I might do a little play a little bit after this, but it's to me it's changed completely. It's made me think that this console can survive on first-party titles, on amazing indie games, and sprinkle them in with a few great third-party games. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 is an amazing port. Fantastic port. I can't speak on how great that port is. I heard that NBA 2K18 is a great port. They had some issues. They fixed them. I guess it was like the FMV, the cutscene, not the FMV, the cutscenes in between with the in-graphics engine. And I heard that they fixed that. Great. Fantastic. All these titles, the big titles, we're getting Doom, we're getting Wolfenstein, sprinkled in with the great first-party support with this indie. You got a recipe for success. And nobody can say, absolutely nobody can say that they don't have anything to play on their Switch. Because the proof is right behind me. You have stuff to play on your Switch. I don't want to hear it. No, I'm kidding. I want to hear it. Please tell me. Tell me what you think. Do you think I'm an idiot? If you do, don't tell me. It'll hurt my feelings. No, but seriously, let me know below what you think of my video, what you think of my reasoning, and let me know what if you do have a Switch, What games are you currently enjoying? What do you like? What are you playing? So let me know, and as soon as I can press stop recording on here, I'll stop the stream. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me for this video. Like I said, let me know below if you like this video, if you like what I'm talking about, or if you think I'm an idiot. Either way, click that like button, please. Hit subscribe, and stick around for more. See ya.